Hey guys, welcome to BA101. So excited to have you guys back here today. Welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time joining us. Super excited about it. Just a quick rundown. Make sure you guys check out that description down below. It has some important links that I will reference to as we go through this. And then of course, if you do have any questions or anything, we do have staff standing by to help answer those questions in the chat. So definitely check out the chat, locate that, hit us up, let us know, and here we go. All right, so last time we talked about the highs and the lows of being a brand ambassador. So super fun, very interesting content. If you missed that one, definitely go back to our channel, check it out. It's still posted up there. You guys can still grab it. Plus all the other BA101s we've done so far, so you guys can be prepared and get caught up with that information. This week, we are going to be covering how to do a tasting, like what a tasting, being at a tasting is actually like, be prepared for a tasting, all that fun stuff. So here at Higher Dragons, we do work primarily with alcohol products and liquors, spirits, the fun stuff. So we promote that. As a brand ambassador though, you are looking at a billion different ways to represent different products. Some companies will use you just as like a figurehead to talk about the product, and you're handing out like pamphlets and information about the product. Some companies, food companies, you're actually handing out food samples, stuff like that. So there's a million different ways that you can be a brand ambassador. But as a dragon, you're working primarily with alcohol and liquor. And that makes it really fun. And you definitely get to know some really important brands, some really fun brands, and have a great time doing it. But working a tasting is definitely a unique experience. So whether you're showcasing something that you showcase all the time or something new, the goal is to create that memorable experience with the consumers that are trying it. And you definitely want to leave that lasting impression. So that's super important. That's kind of the whole reason you're out there. One, they get to try an amazing product, but two, they get to learn about it and hopefully be impressed by it and become a customer for life. So that's kind of the point. First off, you definitely want a great presentation. So when you become a dragon, we give you this handy dandy little checklist that if you've never been a brand ambassador before, which if you're on BA101, you probably haven't been, but if you are just dipping your feet into the industry, we have this checklist for you that has a great rundown of all the supplies you're going to need. I also covered this in, I think, a couple weeks ago. So check out that video. I think it's what it takes to be a brand ambassador. So some tools in there and everything that you guys can go over. Most important, you're gonna need some kind of a table covering, and then bartending tools, ice bucket, shakers, wine openers, all that fun stuff for whoever you're working for. But presentation is key. So as I mentioned in my other video, we are going to want to make sure our presentation matches the brand that we're talking about. If we're doing a super fun, youngish, 21 up obviously, but youngish type brand, you're going to want colorful stuff, things that attract, you know, the college kids, the younger drinking age people. If you're doing like a wine, probably don't bring a plastic ice bucket. Dress your table up to match what you're doing. If you happen to be in like a grocery store or a store that has live greenery, go snag something and put it on your table and make it look nice. Like, you want your presentation to look good. You want people to come in. You don't want it to look like weird and like shifty, because a lot of people are already a little thrown off on what brand ambassadors are doing. They jump out at you. They seem like too good to be true. Like, hey, do you want to drink some free booze? And it's like, what are you doing? So it's really fun. So you want to make sure your presentation is nice and you look presentable and you're representing those brands really well as well. So that's really important. The other really important key is actually knowing what you're talking about. So sadly, a lot of brand ambassadors out there don't know what they're talking about. They go out there, they stand at their table, they present the sample, and they give the basic information, the name and the price. And it's like they tell nothing about the product. And that's actually why Lamar and Laura founded Higher Dragons, is they wanted to create a company where brand ambassadors actually knew what they were talking about. So that was kind of their whole goal in 2013, I think it was. So, which is fantastic. And that's what makes you a dragon versus a brand ambassador. So we tell the story, and any good brand ambassador is going to want to know the knowledge of the product. So make sure you familiarize yourself with it, practice it, know it from, forward to backwards, any unique characteristics about the product, any fantastic stories. Some products have great stories. Some products just have great products, or some brands just have great products. So it's really fun. And make sure you know all about it. Higher Dragons, we do give you that information. We do, we give you, there's a little test you have to take, and you get a badge for it. It's really fun. It kind of gamifies the experience. And once you get to know that client, you're good to work for that client moving forward. So we just want to make sure that you know the client before going out to present them. And that's how we do it. So we give you all the tools. You are welcome to do more beyond it, but we do give you a ton of information about the brands before you're even allowed to go present them, which is actually really fun. And then also, obviously, you're going to want the products to sample. Once you get there, you're going to check in with the managers, the store managers. Sometimes this is a huge process. Sometimes they really don't even care you're there. So just make sure you always check in with the manager. So you do your due diligence and save that relationship with the store. Store relationships are very important. You're going to go set up, and you're going to get all the product you need to sell beyond what you're opening. So always have extra product with you so that you can hand the product to the consumers once they try it and love it and heard the amazing story and totally in love with the brand and they're ready to buy. You can just hand it to them and they can go off and buy it. So always have that product ready to go. Make sure you are presenting it the way that the client wants to present it, in the way that it is going to showcase that product in the best light possible. So you don't want a beer to get warm. You don't want a seltzer to go flat. You want to make sure that you're presenting products in a light. So most spirits, liquors, whiskeys, tequilas, gins, they will have an option that they can try it neat, or they could try it with a small mixer, usually like club soda or something. So make sure you're ready for that though. Make sure you're set up for it. It goes with your presentation. And then you're gonna present the product. You're gonna want to invite people over and say, hey, do you wanna try this really awesome product? Use a great hook. Use the hook that you learned from all the product knowledge, because of course you know the brand forward and backwards, right? So use that to get them over to try it and tell them about it. We do have marketing materials that give you a great visual and everything else. So it's fantastic. And you'll put on a great show. They'll fall in love with the brand, fall in love with the product, and then go buy it. So that's the whole goal, is that you want them to buy the product. You're not just there to hand out free drinks. You definitely want to push that sales goal and push those bottles and help that brand out to get a boost in sales, and the store too. So you're very beneficial for a lot of different parties. So you also want to make sure that you yourself are approachable and friendly, energetic. And if you're having a great time, everyone around you is going to have a great time. But if you're sitting there bored and just trying to burn the 3 hours that you're there, no one's going to talk to you, no one's going to be interested in the brand, and it's going to feel more boring. So we at Higher Dragons always say, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And that's 100% true, because you should be going out there having a great time, talking about the brand, hanging out with great people, having great conversations, and your time's going to fly by and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that was it? That's all I have? I have to go home now? What? So yeah, so make sure you're always having a great time and you're having a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh man. So definitely, You want to definitely be flexible when doing tastings. A lot of stuff changes last minute. Not only with clients love to change things last minute, but with stores and everything as well. So I always suggest have a table with you, because even stores that provide like a spot to set up, like an actual barrel, a counter, whatever, make sure you always have a small table with you, because that store might only be able to put you in the wine department. And if you're doing like whiskey or a tequila, you're not gonna have a good time. And it's gonna be a lot harder to get people going straight to the wine department to switch over to a whiskey or tequila. So have that table, because a lot of stores will still allow you to set up your table like at an end cap or an aisle, an open walkway, something like that, so you can kind of snuggle up in there. So make sure you're always flexible, make sure you can problem solve. As I've mentioned before, we have a fantastic support team that is always there to help you, support you, and get you ready. So if anything does happen, if there's not stock, if the manager's asking you to open something you're not supposed to, if your spot needs to change, something, anything like that, give us a call. We'll help you out, and we'll help you get to where you need to be. But always flexible is a fantastic tip for you guys. So lastly, you're going to want to gather feedback and keep your stats. So feedback is one of the reasons you guys are out there. So you guys are having a great time. You're presenting the brands, you're letting the consumers try it, but most importantly, you're actually grabbing information, grabbing feedback, absorbing how the people are reacting to the product, what they're saying about the product, because you do have a recap to fill out at the end of the day, to include that information. You're also going to want to keep track of your stats, your sales of each product, your total sales, your samples, how many people you sampled, how many total samples you sampled, all of that information. You're going to want to keep track of it. We make it super simple for you. You have a sheet that you can print out and take with you every time, or you can make your own on a notepad. Either way, we just want to make sure you have as many tools as possible to be successful out there. All right, so see here, what do I got for you guys? So that's pretty much all I got about working a tasting event. It's super fun. Everyone always has a great time. Definitely, if you guys are ready, if you guys are like, hold on, I'm sorry, you will pay me to do everything you just said, at least $25 an hour plus commissions, and have a great time doing it, like, yes, please sign me up. This sounds fantastic. Awesome. Check out the link below. There's a link that you guys can use to sign up and get started right away. So please do that, or you can check us out in the comments. We'll throw up a link there as well. If you ask, we'll help you out. Otherwise, you guys are on your way to becoming dragons, which is so exciting. We're super excited to have you guys on board if you guys are ready. And don't forget to also subscribe to this channel. I've got a lot more of these planned, and I love hanging out with you guys, so make sure you always come back and check me out. Live is even better, but we do post them after if you guys want, and it's a great time. So hope to see you guys soon. Hope to see you guys next week. I am going to be covering what it's like to be your own boss, because ultimately brand ambassadors, and specifically dragons, you're your own boss, which is fantastic. So next Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time, same spot. Make sure you check it out. I'll see you there. And remember, we always say, always be yourself unless you can be a dragon. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.